truly are the Son of God. Turn this stone to bread. Satisfy your desires.
God indeed said, "You shall not eat of every tree of the garden."
We may eat the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, "You shall not eat it, nor shall you touch it, lest you die."
You will not surely die, for God knows that in the day you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good.
Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Miss Revolution, and if you're here for the first time, welcome. And for those already know me, as you're probably just gonna see, I changed my name to Revolution, to Miss Revolution. There's not much reason behind it, because literally I've been in my logo. It's literally, I call myself as that, and I've been always posted like that, Miss Revolution, for such a long time. And I thought, why not let my channel be Miss Revolution? So I basically just added a Miss in the beginning, but the name is still exactly the same. There's no reason behind it, but I just, yeah, that's how it is anyway. But anyway, move on. This is actually this topic, I actually really enjoyed this topic. Like, even when I was planning, when I was organizing, I really enjoyed this. I can literally speak like hours over this topic, but I don't want to be here get you guys bored by speaking this. But hopefully I might do a part two. But it's not promises, because I just kind of really snap that shot and move on. And yeah, and I do really try to keep my video as short as possible. I know, because when you do motivation, when you're talking about God, you always have so much to speak about, because God is wonderful. You always have so much to motivate people, especially when not just about God in general, but when you do motivation, there's always a lot to motivate. There's always a lot to talk about to motivate someone. So I always end up having so much to say, as the Bible say, like, let the Spirit lead you. Sometimes I plan, didn't think, but I start, just know what, there's just things that come in your head and start literally speaking a lot. So I apologize if sometime my video is quite long, but I do try to promise I'll try to keep it 10 minutes or under. But the topic today is recognizing temptation. And the reason why I chose this topic is because I realized, when, as a human being, especially as a youth or as an adult, we tend to blame God in everything happen to us. When we're facing hard time, we tend to blame God, thinking like, oh, you know what, God put me here, why you start complaining, moaning, but you don't actually take the time to to take time to identify what actually made you to be in that position where you are. Sometimes we're so ignorant as a human being. Like, you know exactly what making you keep falling. You know exactly what actually making you to be tempted. As I say, guys, I'm gonna move on to do my audio, so I'm not gonna allow myself to develop more. So basically what I was trying to say was, you cannot overcome temptation if you don't know what it is. Like, what I'm trying to say, if you don't know what the temptation is, if you don't know what to keep making you fall all the time, or you don't know what you're making mistake in order to you to fall, that's going to be really hard for you in order to overcome it. If you know what is actually making you fall, or what temptation it is, it was easy for you in order to overcome it. It will be easy for you to work towards it in order to overcome it. And I was just want to say that a great way to study temptation is by dividing it by faith. And you also need to know which temptation is from God and which temptation is not from God. Because when you try to differentiate the different types of temptation, because I'm going to tell you guys, no, every temptation is come from God. Some temptation it is from devil, or some temptation is from our own desire. So we need to identify which one is from God and which one is not from God. So So basically, your own desire can lead you to a temptation. Your own desire, not designer, your own desire can lead you to temptation. So I want to tell you guys, yeah, especially as a youth, I think, especially for youth, I think temptation is really bad. Like, the devil tries so hard to tempt us, like, for things like nightclub, things like clothes, things like sex, things like the loser thing, alcohol, drug, smoking, all that. The devil really tempted the youth, because in that time, I believe in that certain times, that's who most of us as human commit so much sins. As a youth period, that's the time I believe we get tempted the most by the devil, because the devil know, because we're youth, we're so blinded, we just want to live. Because when it comes to a certain time when you're 16, you just want to live, you feel like, you know what, I'm a grown-up girl, I'm a grown-up woman, like Beyonce sang, yeah, okay. But when things fall apart, darling, you're like, you're not that grown-up woman anymore. The same way men is exactly the same, men is exactly the same. When you turn 16, you think, yeah, you're a big boy. You can check any girl. You can go in a girl house. You can be you. But, darling, are you really ready for this? I believe, yeah, as youth, I believe by certain age, when you hit 16 to 25, I believe the devil do really tempt the youth. The devil tempts in so many ways, drinking, nightclub, whatever. But I just want to ask you as a youth to recognize what is actually making you fall, what is actually making you sin, what is your desire, what is that thing you're obsessed with, what is that desire that making you fall. Because you know, yeah, because when you get tempted by the devil, you will fall over and over and over. If you don't recognize that is a temptation from the devil, you're gonna recognize it late. When you recognize it late, it's gonna be late. It's gonna be late. It's gonna be late to when you realize there's some temptation when you be tempted, because it has grown to a sin. When it grows, given the birth of death, trust me, guys, you don't want to be there. You're not be there. And I am actually glad, yeah. I'm happy for myself, and I'm happy for those as well. As a youth, it's really makes me happy to see youth doing motivation, to see youth evangelists in the street, to see youth working for the Lord, like doing motivation. Motivation doesn't mean that you have to preach, have the best Bible verses, blah blah blah, Matthew 11, James da da da, Revolution da da da, Psalm da da da. That's not motivation. You can have the best motivation by giving the best speech, can change people's life. Being a motivator, I don't see myself as a preacher or as evangelist. I see myself as a motivation. I motivate people, because there's loads of ways I can motivate people. I can motivate people by my life. I can motivate people by giving an example. I can motivate people by Bible. I can motivate people by general things. So as I can say, like, we as a youth, we get tempted. It's a general thing. And then when you get addicted to the thing, you get addicted. When you get addicted to drinking, smoking, whatever, it's become hard to overcome it. So I just want to say, someone, if you get tempted, you know what, I just want to say one thing. Christ was tempted by the devil. Christ was tempted during his 14 nights and 14 days of his fasting. If Christ himself was tempted by the devil, then just bear in mind that you, who are you? You are able, most of us, all of us go through temptation, but you need to have the ability to ask God to give you the strength in order to overcome it. Because trust me, the worst could happen, yeah, you've been tempted and fall, and it's getting messy, it get harder. But when you have God, when you're being tempted, it might take time in order for you to conquer, to overcome it. But if you have a God, if you have a faith, the same way when we see Job was tempted by the devil, even though God allowed it to happen, because he had a faith, he believed. Even though, yeah, when we go through temptation, I'm not saying don't complain, don't moan. Job was complaining, Job was moaning, but because he had a faith, he knew in the end of his temptation, in the end of his suffering, in the end of this trial, there will be something that he trusted in the Lord all the way through it. Despite his moaning, despite all the complaining, despite people came around him trying to make him Try to make him fall, try to make him to turn his face away from God, try to show him, try to discourage him, but you know what, God had left you, you don't need to listen to that. You don't listen to that. When you go through temptation, even if you have to be by yourself in order to overcome it, trust me, lock yourself in your room and guess me, the result will be better. If you go through hard time, through trials, through temptation, and you are surrounded by the wrong people, trust me, all it can do is get worse. When you lose that faith, when you lose that hope, when you lose that concentration of trying to overcome it by being surrounded the wrong people, by being surrounded the wrong atmosphere, trust me, you will just fall. You'll get knocked harder. The same way, because you need to block your ears. Certain people just come to you to tell you, be strong. When you go through the hard time, be strong. Yeah. That's all I could say. Be strong, be strong. Because literally, there's a time after I was attempted, but this time next year, I was going through the hard time. I was going through stress. I don't think certain people, how can I say, even my own family didn't realize that I was going through stress, because I felt like everything around me was just falling apart. I felt like my whole world just literally turned upside down. I was going so much stress. Like, I felt like I was losing myself. Like, everything was going wrong, friendship wise. People were around me. Like, around this time, this literally everything would just collapse, and then I couldn't. You know what? I couldn't even think about it. Like, thinking about this is probably going to tear me up how I wanted to. But sometimes I think it happened for the best, as God was trying to show me that I was surrounded by the wrong people. Like, the weren't people I should be around with. Like, it's like God would. It was the same way with temptation. The same way God would teach me lesson. But you know what? He's there for you. So I just want to pray. That's it, guys. Yeah, guys. Keep praying. Stay safe, stay home. You know that the sun's out, it's really bright, people want to go out. Yeah, but stay home, stay safe, and please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, and thank you guys for watching. I love you all. God bless you. Bye.